Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla, and as you can see, y'all, we closed at 323.63. We have made a pre-market low this far at 318.30, but y'all saw we had that level already marked, very close, right? So where are the trouble places? We have bounced from there, trying to make our way, back to the upside, and this 20 EMA, we can use that as a resistance level, although we did have the 322.37. That's a trouble place, which was the 5 EMA on the daily chart. So trouble places back to the upside, we would need to get back above the 322, let's say 322.84. If we break that, 323.36, breaking that brings us back to 323.74, which is right where our 50 EMA is as of now. Now, should we break that, 324.15, and y'all see that ATR trail and stop, which is not very far away here at 324.29. So in my opinion, Tesla has some strong resistance in this area here. However, if we break that, there's another trouble place right there, 323.54, and breaking that 324.80. Should we break that level, 325.10, and breaking that, there's a few layers there. So we're going to just jump to this 325.66, which is this area here. Should we break that level around the 326.12, 326.42, and 326.85. Now, back to the downside for Tesla, should we break under the 321.21, it kind of puts us under the 5 EMA and this level here that we have marked. Now, breaking that, we could very well come back to this level, 320.65, and I want to mark that because it kind of, there's a difference between this line and this line. So what held us up here was that 320.64 area. Breaking that brings us back to around 320.30, and if we should break that, 320.04, breaking that level brings us back to around 319.64, and I'm going to mark that again here. Why? Because something held us up here twice, this candle and this candle. So should we break that 319.62, we could very well come back to it. We're going to just say the 318.85, and breaking that level, 318.26, 317.94, 317.61, 316.60 could be a support area for Tesla. Now, should we break that 315.96 and breaking that level, 315.31. So if you are trading Tesla today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And y'all know, keep in mind, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. So we are now looking at the SPY for we closed at 614.91, and y'all, we are just making new highs, right? So we're going to gap up, which creates a gap to the downside. Not saying that that's going to happen today, let's say that, right? So where are the trouble places? As of now, we've made a pre-market high of 618, and as you can see, we've been trading sideways. So resistance is this 617.91 area down to this 617.05. That is the range that we have been trading in as of now. Should we lose this area of support back to the downside, 616.33, the ATR trail and stop and the 50 EMA is around the 615.82, which is here. Should we break that level for the SPY, 615.42, and breaking that brings us back to 614.66. Now, if we break that level, 613.81 could be a support area for us. Now, this 613.15 area, we've been here once, let's see, a few times over here, so I would definitely watch this area. Again, not financial advice. So under the 613.15, we have 612.74, again 612.18, 611.83, breaking that 611.15, and should we break that 610.55 could be a support area for us. And as you can see, that is our 200 EMA and a level that we have marked. Y'all, I just like to see those. So if you are trading the SPY today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, y'all, not financial advice. We are making higher highs. I say trade carefully, right? So we are now looking at NVDA, and as you can see, we closed at 157.75. We have a pre-market high. I need to move that. We have a pre-market high as of now, 159.48. So we've been trading kind of like in this zone here. Let's say that 159.43 as a resistance, 158.72 as a support. So this is the zone that NVIDIA has been trading in thus far. Now it looks like we have broken down under that slightly. So right now it seems like that 158.32 could be a support area for us. Should we lose that, we can use the 50 EMA at 158.03. Breaking that brings us back to 157.66, and y'all see that's right where the ATR trailing stop. This is going to be a strong support area in my opinion. Now should we break this, we could very well come back to 157.02, and breaking that brings us back to this level here of 156.26, breaking that 155.59, breaking that 155, and should we break the 155, 154.33, breaking that level brings us back to 154.10, which is the 200 EMA. So if you are trading NVIDIA today, those are possible support areas as we are making new highs. I say trade carefully, y'all. In this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So we are now looking at Meta, and as you can see, y'all, we closed at 733.63. We are definitely making higher highs. It seems like this area of rejection is around, I need to move that. The area of rejection is around 748.25. Looks like we're creating a gathering spot right here. So that is the resistance area. So the support we could possibly say is around the 746.30 area. So this will be the zone that we're trading in as of now. So under the 746.30, we could very well come back to around 744.55. Breaking that level, we can use the 50 EMA, no, that is the 20 EMA, I do apologize, 744.01. Breaking that brings us back to around the 739.98, which is the ATR trailing stop. And as you can see, you know, that in my opinion is going to be a strong support area, because losing that, however, brings us back to the 738.38, which is the 50 EMA. Breaking that level brings us back to 735.43, and should we break that level, 732.33, breaking that 731.07. Should we break that level, 729.14, 727.77, and breaking that level, 725.46. Should we break that level, 723.81, and breaking that, you can see the 200 EMA around the 722.57 as of now. So if you are trading Meta today, those are possible support areas. Keep in mind, we are making higher highs, and this market is telling us something. I just say trade carefully, right? So we are now looking at AMD. We closed at 143.81, and as you can see, y'all, we are kind of got rejected in this area here, only to come down, find some, well, resistance now, support resistance areas. So 145.12 is an area we definitely need to watch. It is under the 5 EMA. So back to the upside, let's say if we get back above, you know, the 5 EMA around the 145.16 area, we could possibly have trouble again here at 145.51, breaking that 145.81, again here at 146.21, breaking that 146.57, and breaking that 147.14. Now should we break that, 147.60, 147.97, 148.23. Now back to the downside, if by chance we break under 144.60, downside we could possibly find support at 144.29. Y'all see the ATR trailing stop and a level that I have marked at the 144.08 could be a strong area of support for AMD. However, I say anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed, right? So breaking this level of 144.08, we could very well come to around 143.69, 143.49, not very far away. Breaking that level, 143.03. Now should we break that, we could very well come back to around 142.50, 23, and breaking that brings us back to around the 140, 180. Now breaking that 140, 180, y'all see the 200 EMA is right here at 140, 158. However, breaking that brings us back to 140, 103. So if AMD is something that you trade today, y'all know I say so often, trade carefully. We do have a few inside day candles, and I just like to give the trigger to those, meaning if we break beyond this level, that this is the possible target. And Beyond Meat was definitely one of those, and we've already reached the target, broken through the target. I'm going to give those levels anyway because we could very well come back to the downside. So the trigger to the upside, breaking through the 343, we gave us an upside target of 345. As you can see, we've made a pre-market high of 354 thus far. Now back to the downside. Let's say by chance we get under the 333 area, downside target for BYND is $3.28, not very far away. The next one on the list for today is Citigroup, or C. It is an inside day candle. Let's say above the 84.60, upside target was 84.81. We have already reached that pre-market, so we have 85.11 as the high. Now that does not say that we cannot go back to the downside, right? So if by chance we come under this level of 83.80, downside target 82.64, and I need to remove that. Yes, so 82.64 is a downside target for Citigroup if that is something that you trade. EQT is also an inside day candle. Y'all see we have already reached these targets pre-market, so today's going to be an interesting day in the market, right? So EQT, if we broke beyond the 58.57, upside target was 58.59, but we've already made a pre-market high of 59.25. Now back to the downside, under 57.61, we have downside target 57.55. So if EQT is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. HUT is an inside day candle above 1861, upside target 1889, under 1742, downside target 1702. So if HUT is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. T, or AT&T, I believe is a weekly target. So let's see what that is. Yes, it is. By chance we break above 28.35, upside target for the week is $28.40. Now to the downside, under 27.79, downside target is 27.58. So if you're trading T or AT&T, that is a weekly target. I'm going to look at this daily chart to see that, you know, it only moves about 40 cents per day. So if that is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. Again, that 40 cents is the ATR, which is the average true range of the stock. So I say again, trade carefully, y'all. Wolf is an inside day candle, and as you can see, we are right there at that level. Target trigger was $2.84, target 284. We've made a pre-market high of 287. I like to see those. Now to the downside, under 277, 275 is the target, y'all. This is going to be an interesting trading day. Y'all know I just say trade carefully, right? So let's look at the VIX today, because I kind of look at the VIX to give me an idea of what's going on with the SPY, and it looks as if we are finding support, or have found support at this $17 level, and resistance area 1714, 1721, 1739, and again at 1755. Breaking that, we're going to use the 200 EMA around the 1790 area. Now back to the downside for the VIX. Let's say we break under the $17. The next level we have is 1688, 1682, 1672, 1668, and 1663. Again, I look at the VIX because it kind of gives me an idea as to what's going on with the SPY. Normally when the VIX is up, the SPY is down, and when the VIX is down, the SPY is up. Again, not guaranteed always. I say that often, right? So again, this is the SPY. We're coming back down to find support right here in this area. Trade carefully today. We're going to go back to Tesla just to see where we are. Yeah, test that 320.64. We got rejected at that area there, so that 320.64 area is our support as of now. Looks like we could very well get rejected and continue to the downside. I was wondering if I saw a bear flag, and it seemed like immediately my eye goes to that area. So could this be a bear flag for us for Tesla? If so, I say mark your levels, y'all, and trade carefully, because we could very well continue to the downside. Again, y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market, and there's so many different ways to trade the market, y'all. I say that often, and what's challenging is trying to find a way that works best for you and for us to have the discipline to execute that. So make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a plan, and make sure you have the discipline to execute your plan. So make sure you use your stop losses or whatever it is that you choose to use, y'all. Make sure you have the the right entry and the right exit. That is very, very important. Again, I'd say not financial advice. So again, y'all, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.